students. I'm Mrs. King, and I'm a high school teacher in Johnstown, Pennsylvania. And I'm so excited for the opportunity to now get to work with all of you. I hope that you're finding this project enjoyable, memorable, and most importantly, applicable to the people and places that you care about. You've seen examples throughout history, and even most recently, of people breaking down barriers and finding solutions to monumental problems and fighting to overcome systems that they believed weren't working any longer. And now it's your turn. You're going to plan and promote a green space that will help contribute to the health and happiness of the people you care about in the place you call home. And the tools you're going to use to bring about this positive change? Your words. Yes, it can be intimidating to think of ourselves as change makers. Often it seems like the brave actions of others, the philanthropic giving actions, are for other people. Other people who have made a name for themselves in the news or in history. Not a Pennsylvania teacher or a high school student experiencing life very differently. But all it really takes to be a change maker is to decide to change something and then act on it. The English Language Arts part of this project provides you with the opportunity to practice your skills in thinking, speaking, listening, reading, and writing, with a problem-solution focus. You've already learned in social studies that every community has a city council and key decision makers. It'll be your task to try to convince them to support your position, that it's important to design a green space in your community. And that takes really effective, persuasive writing skills. That means doing research. Maybe you would look up grants that could help support your program. Maybe you'd look up scientific data and evidence that will show the benefits of a green space on a community. Maybe you analyze texts to help find biases that will help you prepare for the counter-arguments against your proposal. The words you choose and the way you deliver them will help you get your proposal out of the starting gates. We'll begin with the 5 stages of the writing process with a focus on persuasion. Your task will be to gather factual, credible evidence and deliver it in a way that sways your audience to approve your plan. That takes effective writing skills. It's an art form. It's careful planning and thoughtful revision. To put it another way, I'd like to paraphrase famous writer Ernest Hemingway's take on process. The first draft of anything is garbage. All right then, that is why we spend so much time on process, to get to our very best version. The first step in the writing process is pre-writing. It's the stage for brainstorming, to start taking all of those big ideas swirling around in your head and pull them into shape and focus. The next step is drafting. Use your notes from the pre-writing stage, and most importantly, don't worry about making mistakes. This first draft isn't meant to be perfect, just like Hemingway said. It's just a starting point that you will then use for the next stage of the writing process. That next stage is revising your draft. Revising is where the magic happens. You add details until you're confident in the way your ideas have taken shape and the language you've used to convey them. The next step is to proofread and fix the mechanics of your writing. Check the spelling, fix the grammar or punctuation errors. And finally, it's time to publish your work. If it's a written paper, neatly print or type it. If it's a speech, create note cards for yourself and decide if your presentation could benefit from visual aids. Of course, there are additional techniques that you could use to help strengthen your position. For example, be sure to gather lots of credible information from reliable, factual sources to help strengthen your case, much like a lawyer preparing for a trial. Passion is good, but passion backed up by facts is even better. You'll You'll research and develop supporting points to help add credibility to your stance. There are 3 categories of supporting points. You might consider using examples of other nature spaces that have been developed to improve communities. Also, there are statistics. You'll learn more about statistics in your science lesson. And finally, you might consider testimonials. Testimonials could be where you interview experts who could help show the benefits of a green space, or maybe community members who will express desire for a green space. Each of these supporting points will help strengthen your argument because they rely on what's called qualitative and quantitative evidence. Just as it's important to plan what you say, so too is how you say it. Famous writer Maya Angelou says, "Write it so people hear it and it slides through their brain and goes straight to their heart." You will practice these how moves of famous writers by studying the works of literary change makers like Emily Dickinson and William Wordsworth, writers from the Romantic period of American history. We'll review a few poems from this time period to illustrate the timelessness of shared human experience, such as enjoying the beauty in nature, celebrating regular everyday people, and embracing individual experiences. We can use the words of Ralph Waldo Emerson as an example. Emerson believed that each individual had the ability to move beyond the physical world of the senses into a deeper spiritual level. His advice? Live in the sunshine, swim in the sea, and drink the wild air. So we're going to study the power of words through poetry, and our interaction with poetry will help us to see it as a vehicle for helping us to strengthen our emotional self-awareness. Mindfulness is another way that we can make change within ourselves, and as Emerson said, even spiritually. So our hope for you through this project is that, of course, you strengthen your skills in all of your content areas, but more importantly, that you apply those skills to something you care about in your community, such as creating a green space. Your process, your unique voice. We can't wait to see what you create.
To download the free lesson plans to be used with this program, visit us online at wqed.org/SOS. To request a hard copy of the lesson plans, please contact your local school district. Funding for this program is provided by the Pennsylvania Department of Education for Learning at Home.